All right, scientific notation. In science, we have really big numbers and really small. So instead of writing all the zeros, we can write the same number in scientific notation. Now, on this assignment, we're going to go from standard format to scientific notation. We'll go back again, so these numbers will go from scientific notation to standard format. And then we'll multiply and divide. And so I'm going to use just a cheapo calculator to do these calculations. I got to do it in a couple steps with one of these, but if you know how to use a scientific calculator, you can use that. It doesn't matter to me as long as you are able to express your answer correctly. All right. So whenever we write numbers in scientific notation, it's expressed times 10 with an exponent. So here we've got, you see what they did here? The decimal started right here. If there's no decimal, then it's after the last number, right? It goes, and look how they moved it to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the left. So that's how they got the 1.25, the coefficient. And because they moved it 5 times to the left, that's 10 to the 5th. So however many times you move it to the left, that becomes a positive exponent. You could think about this as just being 1.25 times, I guess that'd be times 100,000. So 10 to the 5th is 100,000. So you can see how by writing it this way, we don't have all the zeros. I'm going to go to number 2. You can do it with me. I'm going to the decimal starts right after the last zero because there is no decimal in the number. And I'm going to move the decimal to the left, counting the number of times I move until the coefficient, the number in front, is between 1 and 10. So I need to move it right after this first 5. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I move the decimal to 5.5. And because I moved it 7 times, it's going to be 10 to the 7th. Now in Google Docs, to make that 7 an exponent or a superscript, I'm going to go out to Format, Text, and there's superscript. And then I can type the 7. So Format, Text, superscript. There's my answer. All right, now the next couple, we got to go the other way. So you can see here, this number is less than 1. This is a small number. Now I have to move the decimal so my coefficient is between 1 and 10. So if I move it next to this 7, that'll make my coefficient between 1 and 10. But this time I'm moving the decimal to the right. That's going to give me a negative exponent. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. I moved it 4 times. So my coefficient is 7.6 times 10. Now here it's going to be to the negative 4th. So because I moved it to the right, it's going to be to the negative 4th. We go Format, Text, superscript, negative 4. Okay. So that's this number in scientific notation. All right, number 4, here's a similar problem. I got 0.0009, less than 1. I have to move the decimal to the right of that 9. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 9 times 10 to the, it's going to be negative 4. So because I moved it to the right. I always think if the number you're expressing is less than 1, it's going to be a negative exponent. If it's bigger than 1, well, then it's going to be a positive exponent in your answer. All right, these next few are similar. Here, no decimal, so it's add for the 2. So I'm going to go to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now my number is going to be between 1 and 10. So 6.5022 times 10 to the, okay, to get the decimal there, I had to move it 4 times. Sorry, 4 times. So that'll give me times 10 to the 4th. All right, here, decimal is after the 9 because it's not listed. It must be after the last number. So now I'm going to move it 1, 2. I got to go 2 to the left to make that coefficient between 1 and 10. Times 10 to the, now this is the second power. I moved it 2 times. So it's going to be 10 to the 2 power. All right, 7 and 8, you can see like before, these are less than 1. So my exponent's going to be negative for these. We got decimals right here. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to be 9.1 times 10 to the negative 5th. All right, number 8. Same thing, I got to move the decimal to the right here. So 1, 2, 3, 1.1 times 10 to the, since I moved it to the right, it's going to be a negative 3. All right, now these next few, we go the other way. So you can see here, the exponent will tell me how many times and which way to move the decimal. So here the decimal is at 6.2. Look at the exponent, times 10 to the 2. It's going to be 1, 2 to the right, so they wrote that as 620. All right, here the decimal is 1.21, the decimal is right there. This tells me to move it 4 to the right. That's going to be let's see, it's going to be 1, 2, 1, and then that's 2. I got to go 4 times. Now, if you want to put the comma in there, you can. All right, number 11. Here I've got 9.2 times 10 to the negative 3rd. This negative 3rd tells me I have to move it 3 times to the left. This number is less than 1. So I'm going to go 1, move to the left 3 times. 0.0092. Number 12, same idea, less than 1, negative exponent. So that's going to be 1, 2 to the left. 0.0271. Okay, number 13 is a positive exponent. That means I move it 8 times to the right. So right now it's 4.1. That decimal goes 8 times to the right. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's put the zeros in. If I want to put commas, I can too. Comma there, check my counting. Okay, that looks like it's 8 times to the right. All right, number 14, this is less than 1. It's a negative exponent. I have to move the decimal to the left 4 times. So 0.00037. Number 15, 3 times to the left, negative exponent, 1, 2, 3. It's going to be 0.00802. Number 16, 5.2, here negative exponent again, 2 to the left, 0.052. Okay, so that's the first part. You should be able to go from one to the other and back again. All right, now multiplying. Now for multiplying, I'm going to use this cheapo calculator here. I'm going to do it in a couple of steps. it tells me here, multiply the coefficients. So the numbers in front, I'm going to multiply. I'm going to write that as my first answer. And then add the exponents. I'm going to add the exponents for each of my numbers. Just to note, sometimes it works out that the coefficient is between 1 and 10. If it's not, you have to move the decimal, and that'll change your exponent of your answer. I'll show you what I mean here. So this first one, I take 2.0 times 2.5. I'm going to do that on my calculator. I'm going to get 5.0 times 10 to the, okay, add the exponents, 6 plus 2. 6 plus 2 is 8. All right, so there's my answer. Notice how this 5 is between 1 and 10. So that one just happened to work out. I didn't need to do anything to change that answer. All right, let's try this next one. Multiply the numbers in front. 6.9 times 1.8. All right, this gives me 12. I'm going to round it to look like the numbers in the problem here. So 12 times 10 to the, okay, here I add the exponents. 10 plus 12 is 22. All right, now this one's a little different. Look what happened here. This number in front is not between 1 and 10. So I need to do one more step. I need to move this decimal, which is after the 2 here, to the left one time. That's going to be 1.2. And because I moved to the left, that's going to make my exponent a little bit bigger. So that's going to be times 10 to the 23rd. All right, so that's my answer. I'm going to highlight this answer just to show that this is the best answer. All right, they're both the same value. It's just this number should be between 1 and 10. All right, let me try number 19 here. So 19, I got 9.5 times 2.1. That gives me, I'm going to say 20. I'm just going to put a decimal there. I got round to 20 times 10 to the 7 plus 1 is 8. All right, once again, this answer is not quite right because this 20 is too big. It's got to be between 1 and 10. So I move that decimal 1 to the left. It's going to give me 2.0 times 10 to the, and then I got to change the exponent, go up 1 because I went to the left. It's going to be 10 to the 9th. All right, then I'm going to highlight the best answer, which that one is. Oh, let me highlights over here just to make sure I clarify which one's the best answer here. All right, number 20. Multiply the numbers in front. 8.3 times 1.2. It's going to give me 9. I'm going to say 9. Oh, turn off the highlight here. So that's going to give me 9. I'm going to say 10.2. I round it off to 10. Let's keep it as 9.96. We'll talk more about rounding later. 9.96 times 10 to the 3 plus 8. That's going to be 11th. Okay, so that answer, this one happened to work out. This number in front is between 1 and 10, so I don't need to move that decimal at all. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. Multiplying I used one of these cheapo calculators. I do it in a couple steps. If you've got a scientific calculator and you know how to use that scientific notation key, you can do that. Otherwise, do it in these couple of steps here. Now, dividing, similar process. The only difference is, so we divide the numbers in front, just instead of multiplying. And then the other thing is we subtract the exponents. Once again, if our number is not between 1 and 10, we've got to change the decimal. All right, so number 21, I'll try this one. 2.9 divided by 3.1. So I divided those numbers in front. My calculator gave me 0.94 times 10 to the, 7 minus 1. That's 7 minus 1 is 6. All right, like before, this number in front is not between 1 and 10. The decimal needs to go to the right one time. So it's going to be 9.4 times 10 to the, now because I moved it to the right, that exponent needs to go down 1. It's going to be 10 to the 5th. All right, I'm going to just highlight my best answer. All right, next one, 6.6 divided by 11.6. So 6.6 divided by 11.6. My calculator tells me 0.57, round that to, times 10 to the, all right, here I subtract 10 minus 12. Okay, 10 minus 12, that's a negative 2. So subtracting gives me my exponent. Negative 2. Notice how the number in front is not between 1 and 10, so that's 5.7 times 10 to the, because I had to move to the right, the exponent goes down 1. It's going to be negative 3. All right, then I'll highlight my best answer. All right, a couple more problems here, and then we got the idea here. So divide the numbers in front, 7.3 divided by 2.6 gives me 2.8 times 10 to the, negative 8 minus a negative 2. Careful, when you minus a negative, you're adding. So negative 8 minus negative 2 is actually negative 8 plus 2. So that's going to give me negative 6. And this one turns out that number in front is between 1 and 10, so I don't need to move the decimal. Number 24, 5.1 divided by 2.1. My calculator tells me 2.4. All right, now I subtract the exponent. Once again, I'm subtracting, so 3 minus a negative 4. 3 minus a negative 4, when you subtract the negative, it's adding. So 3 minus a negative 4 is 3 plus 4. So that's going to be 7. Number